And then as I did more research into it, it's actually a word that comes from an enclave of Jews that were carried out in the first Babylonian exile that stayed in Persia. And so I think I can...
What? Spending money like I just got paid. $100 bills, tell them keep the change. Come on.
It came back that the Ziff is in Arabic way back.
Pop a bottle, about to make it rain. Let me give you something now to celebrate. Come on.
I cannot believe what I hear. You've explained what Ziff
And if
is.
you're wondering why I move the way I do, I just feel so good.
Either that or else you're on a watch list. Like, why is this guy buying so many words about metals and explosives in Arabic?
It's Ziff is not just, it wasn't only just that they were making these fake ones. It also has a religious connotation or use. It's
The following is an episode of Ward Radio and does not represent the thoughts or the opinions of KHTS, its owners, or any of its affiliates, nor does it represent the official opinion of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. With that said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Ward Radio. I am your host, Cardinal Ellis, and today I'm joined in the studio by Ed Thomas, as well as Jerry Grover, back by popular demand. Who actually, Jerry, you got to look in the camera, bro.
I'm trying to be popular.
Okay. Okay. Jerry Grover, aloof but popular geologist, scientist who talked to us last time about the chronology of the Book of Mormon, the lunar versus solar calendars, completely blew our mind, predicting everything from the birth of Moroni to why Jeremiah would have been imprisoned at the time he was imprisoned in between the Babylonian invasions. That was just some supremely awesome content, but he's back in town on a layover through LAX, and he's decided to return. And I can't believe I'm hearing this. You figured out what Ziff is? And
yeah,
this is a big word, metallurgy. Gotta love that. Somebody played Dungeons and Dragons. The metallurgy of the golden plates. Jerry Grover, go.
Okay. Well, I didn't get it from Dungeons and Dragons, even though I was a 5th level mage in that game.
Okay, rock on. I don't even know what that means, but that's great.
That means that's why he's so smart, because he's a total nerd.
Okay, cool, awesome. Hey, well, nerds of the world unite.
Yeah, exactly.
As a geologist, you seem to have made some breakthroughs. I heard you speaking on the way over here. You said something how you don't have a testimony of the Book of Mormon, that it's just a fact. And you feel like you've just found so many facts that can make you have an almost factual approach to the Book of Mormon. It doesn't even, I don't want to say require spirituality, but just in your scientific approach to studying the history of the Book of Mormon, you use the word fact and Book of Mormon in the same sentence. Back that up and tell us about the golden plates.
Okay. Well, first maybe talk about Ziff. That's what you kind of brought up. There's a relation to the plates, but not necessarily. But so, I do not really do research based on, I'm not an apologist in the sense of like, okay, I've got to respond to some attack on the Book of Mormon. I don't really care. I just find things, I have my own questions that then I decide, I'm going to see if I can figure this out, right? So It may be a question that actually happens to be something that critics use against the Book of Mormon or something, but I ask other questions that are just like, because I don't direct my research based on those kinds of people. I don't care. I base it on what I'm interested in, right?
Yeah, rock on.
So I actually, because I'm a geologist, when I was younger, I did precious metals exploration, throughout the Western United States. And so I know something about metals and precious metals, those kinds of things. So, and then I worked at a steel mill. So, I know quite a bit about iron metallurgy. And my graduate degree was in civil engineering, but I actually got accepted for a graduate degree in mechanical engineering materials, which also I did a lot of like metal studies of fatigue and stuff like that. So anyway, Ziff is used in the Book of Mormon in conjunction with King Noah. Basically, it was one of the things in the list of metals. It was in the middle of a list of metals. It was taxed from, apparently some people had some of it, and then it was used when he built the temple, and then it was used on the exterior of his building. So
okay.
So it was like, okay, what is this stuff?
Wait, just a second. So get this. So in the Book of Mormon, there's a list of gold, silver, I think iron or copper, and Ziff. Okay, and that's
what's Ziff?
And that's it. So Jerry writes a 600-page book about the etymology of Ziff, and it's 100% accurate using Hebraisms and also identifying metallurgy.
Okay, so what is Ziff, man? What? Just hit us, bro. What'd you find? What'd you come up with?
After 600 pages, I couldn't figure it out. No. Actually, in my research, I do put all of my dead ends so people don't repeat those, So when I look at so sometimes my books are longer maybe than people are used to, but that's because I actually include material where, okay, I investigate this avenue and it doesn't work out. Well, it's just so I put it there so people don't have to go down that same path again if they're interested in doing Book of Mormon research. Okay. This book isn't really one of them, but I'm just saying that's one reason why my book.
Okay, so what is Ziff, and why do I need to have, instead of my scriptures gold leafed on the side when I buy my next quad, I want them Ziff leafed. You know what I'm saying? What's this Ziff, my man?
After I tell you what it is, you won't want to be putting it on your scriptures. So.
Okay, what is it? Santa's coal? Okay. Spit it out, bro.
It's worse. So it's worse than Santa's goal. Well, the word, so it's kind of like, what is this word? How do you figure out what a word like this is? I actually used David Calabro, who's a linguist and has published some other things. And he's an expert in Arabic and Egyptian. And so, because I didn't know, I had some linguistic ability, but I needed somebody a little more expert. So I worked on it. So I said, first I said, what is any word that phonetically sounds like that, right? In all of these, Arabic, any Semitic language, and Hebrew, and kind of narrowed it down a little bit, and to some candidates, right? And then we just did research on those to see if they existed anciently. And the one that came up was Ziff. They spell it ZYF in all of your dictionaries. And so the attempt was to try to find what the ancient meaning was. It was some sort of metallurgical related something. And then the other question was, okay, I've looked at all of the unknown words in the Book of Mormon and figured out pretty much what they all are. And this was one, right? So
like what other words, just really fast?
Kiralam, Qumam,
you know what Kiralams and Qumams are?
Yeah.
What are they?
Oh yeah, Cardin. What?
Well,
what are those?
Well, I'm just going to give you, if you want, I need you to read my 700-page book on Sumerian etymology, and then I'll answer that question.
Okay.
Promise me you're going to read that book.
Yes, I will.
Basically, what I figured out with those particular names, because they're Jedite, right? They're mentioned in the Jedite record, Kiralam and Qumams, is when I was looking, I was trying to figure out, it's one area that nobody had found out any Jedite names that existed in the old world.
Yeah.
They've just never figured them out.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm taking a different approach. I'm not going to use the same hammer and go, look through languages just to try to find that name, because honestly, that's what apologists try to do, because they're trying to prove the Book of Mormon. I'm like, I don't really care about proving the Book of Mormon. I just want to figure it out.
Yeah.
And so I looked at it, and then I thought, I kind of know, actually from the characters document, there's like a proto-cuneiform Sumerian glyph. So I kind of know that's where they came from. So I said, okay, I'm just going to look through Sumerian. I mean, that's where they came from. So probably that's where I'm going to find this Kiralam and Qumam. And what I figured out was all the Jedite names and all of the, like even the measurement system that the Book of Mormon lists, those are all, and understanding that all these words and names have meanings underlying them, right? Book of Mormon names all mean something.
Yeah.
And so I looked at it, and so I just looked through every Sumerian word there was,
Yeah.
And then to see what the roots would be that would match these different names. So meaning it wasn't necessarily a name that you found, but maybe the breaking up of the different portions, because Sumerian, it's a compounding language where they just pile words together.
Okay.
Like, greenhouse, green and house, that's a compound word. So they're kind of creating those kinds of things. So I did find Kura and Lam. Kura means like sheep, and lam means mountain, Kuralam. So it's a mountain sheep. Qmom means a plow, like plowing a field, and mom is beast. So
wait, so Kurlams and Qmoms basically means like mountain goats and beasts of burden in ancient Sumerian.
No, not in Sumerian.
I'm not sorry, Sumerian.
Yeah, I mean, using the Sumerian root. The Kura. I mean, I'm taking the actual words from Sumerian and compounding them to make these words, and the names are the same. So they're using a Mesoamerican format and the way they construct their names there to construct these names out of Sumerian. So so it's probably llama and alpaca, right? And because akuda also means like a loom of wool or something. So that matches the best. So you have kudalam, and they were useful for man, right? So it has to be, they weren't eating them.
Yeah, God bless the llamas, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? God bless those llamas, man. Alpacas, too. Alpacas are the unsung heroes of the Andes Mountains.
Yeah.
You know, so anyway, okay.
And there is some indication that their range did go up in that area of Mesoamerica anciently. So especially the llamas, they were even clear up to North America.
Like San Diego and stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what those mean.
Okay, so Ziff. So we know that you're awesome, and if you're able to get alpacas and llamas out of Kurlams and Qmoms, what did you get as the definition of Ziff?
Okay. So the criteria is also that if you have one of these unknown words, maybe it wasn't translatable. Like let's say it was, bismuth or something, meaning some other metal, why did they just not translate it? Why was it left in this form?
Well, anybody that learned a foreign language recognizes that oftentimes, like the English version of words in Spanish fly all the time. Like sometimes, for example, especially in automotive technologies, like they won't come out and say the long, lengthy 8-syllable version of the Spanish version of, for example, the nitro system. They literally will just say like, vamos a arreglar el sistema nitro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, they will even do kind of like the Americanized pronunciation. Just like we'll say, oh, okay, ciao, amigo. See you later.
Yeah, it's like pizza, right?
Exactly.
And so, but the question is, okay, so this had to be something that was not available to be translated, or there was no word for, or JosephSmith would have been translated.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I mean, there may be some ulterior reasons, which I think I figured out too. But so that way I could narrow the list of potential things it could be, just knowing what words exist, what metals. So I went through all the metals and all that, and figured out, well, it's probably looks like it's some sort of an alloy or something that's not really known, or in our current, at least in the 1828 or even early modern English. So
okay.
So, and then as we did the linguistic, it came back that the Ziff is in Arabic way back, and it's actually means it's fake. They use it they would forge or counterfeit money. They would take like just a slug that would be the same weight as a dirham, or that's the money that they use.
Yeah.
And then they would use a mercury procedure to make it look like gold.
Really?
Yeah. So it's basically it's a fake. It's a kind of an alloy, if you will, or
so it's like
a specialized metal.
It's like a fool's gold alloy that doesn't have a word for it in English.
Yeah, it would not have rendered itself in some obvious English word.
Even the term fool's gold, I do believe, came out of the California gold rush of 1849, which postdates the translation of the Book of Mormon by 20 years.
Yeah,
so,
well, fool's gold, actually that's pyrite. Fool's gold is pyrite, and that word did exist. So pyrite was ruled out.
But before the 1849 gold rush?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pyrite's known way back, and they used to.
Well, I knew it was
fire.
known, but did the colloquialism fool's gold exist before then?
Oh, that I don't know, but they did.
Well, either way,
it's
a good example,
right?
It's a good example.
So,
okay.
So I guess what I'm saying is okay. That as we looked at it, it was interesting because Arabic is one of the Semitic languages, right? And there is a Ziv in the Bible. It's like a month name, but that seems to be borrowed and not necessarily related. But it does mean shiny or something like that. So it may have some cognate
Yeah.
to it.
Some roundabout connection. Okay.
Yeah, and so, but it was kind of interesting because it's Ziff is not just. It wasn't only just that they were making these fake ones. It also has a religious connotation or use. It's the money that's used by the jinn in Akbar, the genies. The evil genies. So it's the evil money from this realm that doesn't, this
The jinn
like
realm.
Aladdin.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
okay. So I just got to understand this in one sentence. You wanted to figure out what Ziff, the metal mentioned in the Book of Mormon that none of us have known what it is and is casually mentioned next to other metals that we do know, like copper, gold, silver, so on and so forth, that King Noah famously used in, I believe, when he built his castle, not his castle, but whatever his
temple.
Yeah, his big temple was. Okay. And so there's always been this hanging question mark. What is Ziff? You went into ancient, how far back did you go to what language to find Ziff?
Well, it's early Arabic. We
Early
went
Arabic.
through all.
Well, what years are we talking here? 600 BC, 1000 BC,
Well,
600 AD? What's ancient Arabic mean?
Well, Arabic, you only have like attestations of it. Some script of it in like 200 BC. It's not really this language that is really well attested. There are some inscriptions, but the lexicons, the earliest one I think is like 900 AD. So you can only go back so far, but it's known,
Right.
And so we went through all the lexicons. Actually, there weren't available. I just ordered them out of Lebanon, because there's none available here. And
Really?
Yeah, and they were in Arabic. So we went through all of these.
Okay.
Multiple to look at all the possible definitions of this word.
Yeah.
So I have a whole, shelf of my books or in Arabic, which I can't read, but it looks nice. But, but David Calabro can.
Your poor kids when you die.
They won't even know where to.
Yeah.
They probably won't get any bids on eBay. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Either that or else you're on a watch list. Like, why is this guy buying so many words about metals and explosives in Arabic?
Which David Calabro loved because he was like, oh, another book I have never seen. He's Arabic. He loves Arabic, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So,
All right. So you go into ancient Arabic, but at least let's just say at least 1500-year-old Arabic to find that there is
the earliest lexicons.
Yeah. So you go into the earliest lexicons of the known Arabic language and find that Ziff, which is kind of a cognate to Ziff, was the ancient fool's gold used by the jinn in their magical evil realm, right? And you think that ended up kind of getting incorporated in like Mesoamerican style into the Book of Mormon? How do you think that got incorporated?
Well,
like how would it have followed Lehi and Nephi out of Jerusalem into the New World and onto the plates of Mormon?
Okay. That's chapter 2. Okay.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right. Keep going.
This is like
finish
page,
chapter 1 then.
Yeah, page 300 or something.
Okay.
But so basically, one of the things is it's King Benjamin versus as a comparison against King Noah. That's kind of the theme that's going on in that section of the Book of Mormon.
Okay.
So one reason it would be left with it untranslated, not that, but the word didn't really exist, is that it's pointing out, it's kind of demonstrating the wickedness. King Noah is the antithesis of Benjamin. So you have this a fake king, right?
Okay.
Almost, if you will.
So it's almost like when women say about other women, like, oh, she's not classy. She walked in with her fake Louboutins and with her cheap Prado purse that's not even a Prada purse, because you can buy the counterfeit purses down in LA that say Prado instead of Prada. So you think it was kind of like that when whoever was writing the original copy of those plates of the Book of Mormon, they were trying to show that, like, oh, well, this king, he sucked and he was wicked, while King Noah was doing good things over here with these metals. King Benjamin was doing good things over here with these people and these metals.
He had the metal plates, right?
He had the metal
plates. Righteous plates. And the righteous.
This guy just had the fake fool's gold gilding his temple.
Yeah.
That's what you're thinking he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's part of maybe why it was. And it was also capitalized in the original text. Kind of interesting. Now, the capitalization is a little bit random, but it's like left capitalized. So the rest of them, and you would think if it's being spelled out, right, because this is a word that describes JosephSmith's like reading it. They probably spelled out. So maybe it got, It was like a capital Z on the stone or something,
Okay, cool.
Anyway,
Rock on.
Right. So again, I just think about Ziff way too much, right? But
Yeah.
so then the next question is, okay, we've got it back in Arabic that far with a pretty good consistent meaning to it. Presumably, part of the problem with the biblical Hebrew is it's projected that we only have like a fifth of that language, because the Bible itself was not the full vocabulary of what was going on. It's only like a fifth. So we know that there are probably words that we just don't have in biblical Hebrew. Maybe we've got something, in the more modern Hebrew we can trace back. We just really don't know that we have everything.
Yeah.
But I also found Ziff with almost the same exact meaning in Persian. And I'm like, what the freak is it doing over there? Right?
Yeah.
And then as I did more research into it, it's actually a word that comes from an enclave of Jews that were carried out in the first Babylonian exile that stayed in Persia. And so I think I can.
What?
So I think I can trace the word all the way back to Lehi's time, and it's an Aramaic-derived word, probably.
Wait, so you're saying you did research into Ziff and first found that, okay, it exists in ancient Arabic. Oh, wait, holy smoke, it exists in ancient Babylonian. And the etymology...
Yeah, because you understand, the first thing I did was I looked at every single language, any word Z. So I took,
and then the etymology of the word goes back to basically a false type of gold that was used amongst ancient Jews before they were carried out captive into Babylon?
Yeah, the first, not Lehi's. It was 100 years before that.
No, the first Babylonian captivity.
Yeah, when the 10 tribes were, northern tribes were taken, and it's the language that the dialect is Lotarai. If I'm not, I'm sorry, I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Oh, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, it's LOTR apostrophe.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the enclave language that existed in Persia and Iran. Where it came up through this little enclave of Jewish. So I think I can show, okay, it goes all the way back. It has a meaning that's consistent. It matches, it's not a word you would have expected to be translated. So I'm saying, I think that's a pretty good argument for what it is.
So, okay. Well, I can't believe this, but here we are at 22 minutes and 15 seconds, which means we unfortunately have a commercial break coming up that we're going to have to break for. But I cannot believe what I hear. You've explained what Ziff is in less than 22 minutes, and it's both
plus Kirilam and Qumam.
Oh yeah, plus Kirilams and Qumams. Yeah, hey, we got to give credit where credit is due. This is absolutely amazing. I can't believe what I'm hearing, but I'm absolutely loving it. When we come back from our commercial break, maybe I'll have another question for you about whether or not there's other words in the Book of Mormon besides Kirilam and Qumam and Ziff that you have discovered. In fact, if you guys are listening to the radio, you can check us out at wardradio.com and opine there. Or if you guys want to, you can check us out on hometownstation.com or check us out on our YouTube channel and ask in the comments below this episode, are there any other words that you would be interested in seeing what the potential derivations are or origin stories are, so on and so forth. I think that'd be a really, really cool conversation to keep having. So anyway, if you can and you want to, reach out on the website or comment below or reach out on the website of this radio program. Either way, this has been real and it's been fun. It's been real fun. Please check us out for this and more at wardradio.com.
I just feel so good. Oh, I just feel so good.
Guys, thanks for watching the video. Before you go, please make sure that you like the video, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please let this be the video in which we earn your subscription, and that you press the alert button so you're alerted to all of our fun live streams and standalone videos and community posts. Also, if you'd like to help us out, please consider joining the channel. Members get all kinds of cool perks and benefits. They get early access to a lot of our videos and special emoticons and emojis during our live streams and preferential treatment there. It's a lot of fun. Speaking of a lot of fun, we have a super cool Discord. If you'd like to join our Discord, check us out on wardradio.com. There's a link to the Discord there. Also, you can sign up there for our newsletter. Our newsletter is a lot of fun, and you can put your email address in there. And if you'd like to contribute to the program, please consider looking us up on Venmo or on the Cash App. We're on both of those platforms. Also, If you just want to keep watching more content, right about here and probably right about here are going to be some more videos. Please check those out. And as always, for this and more, please make sure that you look us up and check us out at wardradio.com.